Today we're going to be talking about the hydraulic bender 882. I'm going to go over a few key parts. This is your bending shoe, your guide shoe, the bending shoe harness, your hand pump that pumps the hydraulic fluid through the hose into the hydraulic cylinder that extends and pushes out the hydraulic shoe. One key feature is the ram. The ram acts as a ruler. It's actually a ruler, but this is how, by referring to figure 3 chart, you will be able to calculate the size of your bend. For instance, today we are doing 1.25 inch rigid conduit, and at 15-degree bends we need 2 inch 5/8, which is roughly in here. I have given you a diagram online, Lab 5 hydraulic bender 1.25 inch rigid steel. You will see that I have drawn the template out. I have given you the measurements of the template required for this project. My first step is going to be, I'm going to measure the distance from the end of the start of the conduit to the first start of the bend. So as you see here, I want you to have 6 inches to the 2x4. The 2x4 is actually 1.5 inches width, and I would like 3 inches sticking out. That total is 10.5 inches. So as you see, I'm going to measure from the end of the conduit. Let's get the right side. I'm going to measure out 10.5 inches. Okay? Next, we're going to go to number 2. We're going to refer to figure 4 on the chart, which is X, they call it. I call it take up. It gives us a number of 4 inches on the chart. So we are going to subtract this 4 inches from that first mark we just made. This will become our first bending mark. So I'm going to subtract the 4 inches towards the end of the pipe. You may want to go all the way around the pipe so you know that is your first bend mark. Next, as you see here, we're going to refer to the side of figure 5 chart, calculate the height of the offset by 3.86 for a 15-degree bend. So, as you see, I have given you the height of the offset, 4 inches. So we're going to use our 4 inches, multiply it by 3.86, it'll give us 15.4 inches. You're going to measure that from the first bend mark. So 15.44 inches, I'm going to go just underneath the half. There's my 15.44. That is your second bend mark. So I recommend going all the way around the pipe so you know. Now, we're going to place it into the bender. Okay, I'm going to slide it into this part here. You probably will have to open up the shoe. So I'm going to take the harness off the shoe. All right. Place that in there like so. to mess around, get her level. Now, setting it up in the shoe, you're gonna see I'm gonna pull it so it becomes tight. Now your first bend mark is gonna be at we're always gonna put our marks right in line with the harness of the shoe, now that it is tight. So you'll see our first bend mark, it's right there. I'm gonna move over to the machine, make sure that I tighten the reservoir. So now the hydraulic fluid will pump through. As I pump, you will notice the cylinder extending. The ram set is traveling. For an 1.25 inch pipe at 15-degree bend, I need that 2 5/8 of an inch to be level with this surface here. Once it gets to a certain point, you're gonna see this guy start to bend. There she goes. Making sure that stop at the 2 5/8 mark. Now, I release this valve. The hydraulic fluid will flow back into the pump, releasing the cylinder. I pull out the harness. Loosen my pipe. Repeat the process. Putting the harness back in, or the pipe in the harness, sorry. And away we go. Now I rotate my pipe, as you noticed, 180 degrees. So it bent that way, I have to rotate it 180 degrees. Being sure that this is level. You could use a level. I'm going to eyeball it just for this video. If you do not make sure that's level, you'll probably end up with a dog leg. Again, my mark is at the harness saddle. We turn the pump back so it will pump the hydraulic fluid into the cylinder. I'm gonna as I pump, the ram will travel, and 2 5/8 inch should be level there. Right there. Now I release the pump again to release the hydraulic fluid from the cylinder back into the pump. The saddle will release. We can pull that apart once I have finished. And now I have created the offset required for your project.